be starting off with the trachea, description, structure, syntopy, tracheotomy. And always start off by dividing it. We'll talk about the overview of it, then the structure itself, then the syntopy, its relation with other structures, and then the scheme. Now, what is the trachea? Trachea is basically the structure that is the continuation of the larynx from the level of C6, almost here, right below the cricoid cartilage. That's this one right here. And it terminates at T4, where it bifurcates into the primary bronchi. And the main function is to conduct air through the to the lungs. And it's composed of 15 to 20 hyaline cartilages. And the hyaline cartilage itself is not a complete ring, whereas it's like a C-shaped incomplete ring, and where the open side is towards the back, and it's on the inside, it's lined with the respiratory epithelium. Now, let's talk about the histology of the trachea. We'll be going from the layers, from the innermost layer to the outermost, the mucosa and submucosa. So within the mucosa, uh, there is this pseudostratified ciliated columnar epithelium, and that lines the trachea from the inside. And there's tracheal glands and lymphatic tissue within the submucosa and mucosa. Now, in the fibromuscular layer, in the anterior aspect of it, is the hyaline cartilage itself is present, while in the posterior side, on the back side of it, it's the muscle itself and the like fibroelastic membrane in the back side, as you can see, and right behind that is the esophagus. And then right outside that you have the tunica adventitia. And now the structure itself, it is just basically a cylindrical structure, 15 to 20 C-shaped hyaline cartilage, and the last one is called the carina. It's a triangle, an upside down triangle where the base is pointing towards the cranial end. And again, the it bifurcates at T4. Very important. Remember what is T4? T4 is the T4 vertebra. And like as you can notice from this picture, uh, the right bronchi is present at a more, how do you say, a steeper angle rather than the left one, as the deviation from the perpendicular axis is 20 to 30 degrees for the right one, whereas the left one is 40 to 50. So if an object were to fall in to the trachea, it would most likely go into the right bronchi, primary bronchi. And let's talk about the tracheotomy. Tracheotomy is a surgical procedure where an incision, a horizontal or a vertical incision, is made on the ventral aspect, ventral meaning the front side aspect of the trachea, either right below the cricoid cartilage, right here, or um, right above the isthmus of the thyroid gland, which is present at the level of the third cartilage. So right around this region, and that's about it. That's all you need to know about tracheotomy. Um, and let's talk about the syntopy now. The trachea can be split into two parts, the cervical part and the thoracic part. The cervical part is the continuation from C6 from C6 to the end of the neck region, uh, and the thoracic part starts from the manubrium, the top part of the sternum. It's above the sternum, and it's at the level, like it from there to T4 is where the trachea splits. That's the thoracic part. Now, the cervical part. Anterior to the cervical part would be the thyroid gland, the isthmus of the thyroid gland. Lateral to it would be the thyroid gland itself, with the carotid sheath and recurrent laryngeal nerve. That would be this yellow color structure that you see here. An important fact to remember is vagus, the left vagus, as you can see, this orange color structure that wraps around the aorta. That one is the left vagus, which gives the recurrent laryngeal nerve, which arches around the arch of aorta, while the right vagus gives off the recurrent laryngeal nerve around the right subclavian. That's an important point to remember. Uh, and now posteriorly to that, up to the trachea would be the esophagus. Now the thoracic part. Anteriorly would be the arch of aorta, posteriorly esophagus. On the right side, the recurrent laryngeal nerve and the superior vena cava and azygos vein. And on the left side would be the left recurrent and the arch of aorta. And that's it. And the diagram at the last slide, that is what you would need to draw for the scheme. And that's about it. Thank you for listening.